It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as there has been yet another WWE release. Seth Rollins opens up about the recent fan attack on Monday Night Raw, and Jeff Hardy confirms a Hardy Boys reunion. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Tonight, AEW hosts the next episode of Dynamite live from the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois, as the AEW TBS Championship Tournament continues, as well as 2 hometown returns. So with that said, let's take a look at the card for tonight's show from the Second City. Thunder Rosa will take on Britt Baker's heavy Jamie Hayter in the quarterfinals of the AEW TBS title tournament, with the winner going on to face Jade Cargill in the next round. There will be an 8-man tag match as the divisive Cody Rhodes teams with Pac and Lucha Brothers to take on Andrade, Idolo, Malakai Black and FTR as this convoluted multi-person feud continues. The American Dragon Bryan Danielson, who has recently turned fully heel in his pursuit of Hangman Page's AEW World Championship, will take on Colt Cabana of the Dark Order. Heel Bryan will easily be able to draw heat once again in Colt's hometown of Chicago. And speaking of hometown heroes, CM Punk is set to battle QT Marshall of The Factory. Punk is of course coming off the back of an encounter with MJF last week, with him laughing off a handshake offer from the man that claims to be better than you. It's going to be very interesting to see what's next in the Punk MJF feud, with this being one I've been waiting on for a very long time. But what are you looking forward to the most on tonight's AEW Dynamite? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, former WWE Ring of Honor and TNA wrestler EC3 would speak with Sportskeeda Wrestling, where he discussed his career so far, as well as his future in the business. EC3 is one of many Ring of Honor talents available to sign for another promotion following the company letting go of their entire roster ahead of a hiatus in January, and EC3 was asked if he can see himself making a jump to All Elite Wrestling, and he would say, "I can envision myself infiltrating and expanding my idea everywhere, and AEW would obviously be a target. Moxley is a hell of a guy. I have a match that I do want to have, which is a true battle with that man. I think he can bring the best out of me, and I can do the same to him. We're different but also like-minded. He's an incredible talent. Always works hard, but he's stoic, which I respect and enjoy. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty, he's not afraid to get rough, raw, and bring it." EC3 has been doing some excellent work as of late, especially with his production of the 2 Free the Narrative events, which bring a whole new take on the professional wrestling presentation. It seems any future moves would need to allow him to have creative input, or in his words, to control his own narrative. The character development he's undergone since his WWE release last year has been excellent, whilst giving the likes of Matt Cardona and Braun Strowman a platform to take their characters to the next level. As we have discussed in previous videos, Kenny Omega was forced to vacate his AAA Mega Championship due to injury, which left next month's Triple Mania Regime main event up in the air. In an update provided by AAA's social media account, the former belt collector has been replaced in the match against Vikingo, with a recently released WWE Superstar stepping into Omega's spot. Samurai Del Sol, the former Kalisto in WWE, will battle Vikingo for the now vacant AAA Mega Championship. Reports earlier in the week suggested the match will become a multi-man bout, but this no longer seems to be the case. The Chicago-born luchador will be making his first appearance in AAA since 2012, although his signing seemingly happened earlier this year, after Tony Khan would thank AAA after he and Aerostar wrestled FTR on AEW Dynamite. Del Sol was released from WWE in April 2021 and has only worked 1 match since becoming a free agent. The Vikingo vs Samurai Del Sol clash will be held on December 4th in Monterrey, Mexico. And speaking of title matches, another one has been added to the upcoming Ring of Honor Final Battle event, which is being billed as the end of an era ahead of the promotion's impending hiatus in the new year. It has been announced that the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Josh Woods will defend his title against Bryan Johnson after he became the #1 contender this past weekend on Ring of Honor TV, defeating John Walters in singles action. Woods became the Pure Champion in September of this year, defeating Jonathan Gresham at Death Before Dishonor Honor, who finds himself in the main event of the next pay-per-view where he takes on Bandido for the ROH World title. Ring of Honor Final Battle End of an Era will go down on Saturday, December 11th from Baltimore, Maryland, and is available through Honor Club on Fight using our Fight affiliate link in the description if you fancy checking it out. This week there appears to have been another release from WWE, this time by the request of the individual. Scott Garland, better known as Scotty 2 Hotty from the Too Cool tag team, took to Twitter to reveal that he has asked for his release from the company, calling his time as a coach for NXT Superstars the highlight of his life. And he would say, "Today I have asked for my release from World Wrestling Entertainment. 30 years ago I stepped into a WWE ring for the first time. I have lived my dream 100 times over. Some of my most special memories will always be from the last 5 years working with NXT. The black and gold brand was something special and I am proud to have been a small part of that. I always promised myself that I would never be a part of something solely for the paycheck. I told myself that I would walk away if I ever got to that point, so that is what I have chosen to do. Coaching and producing the stars of NXT will always be a highlight of my life. I love you all more than you will ever know." Scott would work as an active wrestler for 10 years, debuting in 1997 before training to become a firefighter in 2013. He would then sign as a trainer and producer at the Performance Center in 2016, with his 5-year stint in the role coming to an end. This past Monday on WWE Raw, Seth Rollins would be attacked by a fan during the close of a segment with Finn Balor, with Rollins being taken down to the ground at the top of the ramp. Security were quick to act, removing the fan from the arena before handing him over to the police. After landing in Los Angeles less than 24 hours after the incident, TMZ would catch up with the former WWE Universal Champion, who asked him about what happened. Rollins would admit that he was shook by the attack, and he said, "It's terrifying, brother. It happened very quickly. I was mostly just reacting and hoping that our security would come and do their job, which they did very quickly, and then was just trying to detach and move on, hope that everybody is okay." Seth would confirm that it wasn't part of the show, which most people assume at this point, and he was asked if he suffered any injuries, and he would say, "Once the tackle happened, I knew what was going on. The guy was barreling around the corner. No serious injuries, nothing like that. I was safe, we were safe, everything was okay." The police report states that Rollins suffered from a swelled lip, although this wasn't visible on the TMZ video due to his face mask. Rollins would be asked if he would be pressing charges on the individual, although he refused to comment on the matter. As of now, a 24-year-old fan has been charged by the New York Police Department with attempted assault and attempted violation of arts and cultural affairs, which means disrupting a live sporting event. And before we continue, let's give a quick mention to our affiliates over at Grey Dog Software, who, and I mean it when I say this, have developed the best wrestling game on the market. TEW 2020 is a wrestling management simulator that lets you take over the reins of almost any wrestling promotion from any era, this using community mods from our website at tewdb.com. Do you want to be Tony Khan and control AEW in 2021 and topple industry giants WWE? Well, you can. Do you want to go back to 2001 and save WCW from extinction? Well, you can do that too. The mods are super easy to install and the game is so detailed and very, very addictive. If you head to tewdb.com, click the banner at the top of the site and use the code THANKS21 before December 9th, you can get yourself 20% off as part of the Black Friday sale. Those that know my history on YouTube before WrestlePlanet will know that this isn't a cheap plug for a game I've never played, and it genuinely is my favourite wrestling game, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. This week, WWE Superstar Jeff Hardy would speak to TalkSport's Alex McCarthy ahead of the weekend's Survivor Series pay-per-view, where he was asked about a potential reunion with his brother Matt somewhere down the line. Of course, Matt Hardy is currently under contract with All Elite Wrestling, leading the Hardy family office stable, and has been vocal about his desire to be reunited with his brother as the Hardy Boys at some point in the future. It seems that the feeling is mutual, with Jeff revealing that they indeed will team together again. And Jeff would say, "I think it's gonna happen. I'm not sure where. That's why it's kind of exciting. It can happen anywhere, man. Wrestling is very unpredictable. Contracts expire, people get released, all kinds of stuff happens. I think our paths will cross again and we'll reunite one more time." Whilst Jeff didn't name drop AEW specifically, this can be taken as a hint that he's open to a move there, with it being unlikely AEW would sign Matt Hardy following their recent mass releases and reported youth movement via NXT. Whilst Jeff Hardy signed a new deal with WWE last year, anything can happen, especially with the volume of WWE releases as of late. It has been reported by Fightful that Jeff's deal ends in either the end of 2022 or early 2023, with his contract expiring in just over 1 year's time. And before you go, make sure you check out my video of the hottest upcoming free agents in wrestling, as many contracts that you need to know are set to expire.